Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're embarking on, an extraordinary journey through a sacred text that has shaped spiritual understanding for millennia, the Vishnu Purana.
That's right.
Specifically, we're opening Book 5. It's a segment just rich with divine narrative, heroic deeds, and really profound philosophical insights, all centered around the earthly manifestation of Lord Vishnu.
In this deep dive, it's really our mission to unpack the essence of this ancient scripture, chapter by chapter, in its strict order. We'll explore the life and exploits of Krishna, trying to understand the mythological and symbolic narratives, revealing the divine cosmological order, and getting at the moral lessons woven throughout.
Think of it as a shortcut, maybe,
Yeah.
to grasping the spiritual heart of one of Hinduism's foundational texts.
Exactly, a shortcut to the heart of it.
You've given us this rich collection of excerpts, and we're going to guide you through it. We'll highlight the most important nuggets of knowledge and, crucially, how they connect to broader themes: time, space, the soul, liberation.
Get ready for some, truly surprising facts and maybe some aha moments along the way.
Okay, let's unpack this.
The union of Vasudeva and Devaki.
So we begin with Maitreya's eager request to the sage Parashara. He really wants to hear about Visu's manifestation in the Yadu clan.
Yeah, he's asking specifically about Krishna, and it's not just like a history lesson he's after, it's a spiritual quest, right?
Yeah.
How does the divine actually appear in our world?
Exactly. And the narrative just dives right in. We get Vasudeva and Devaki's marriage, and almost immediately, this ominous prophecy from the sky.
Right, a voice booms out. Their 8th child will be Kamsa's doom. It's terrifying. And that instantly sets up the central conflict, divine will versus this mortal tyranny.
And Kamsa's reaction is so immediate, so violent, he draws his sword.
He's trying to stop destiny in its tracks. You can feel his desperation already.
But it's striking how Vasudeva, thinking fast, manages to spare Devaki. He makes this promise, doesn't he, to hand over each child.
He does, and it's a promise that sets up this whole tragic sequence of events. Kamsa actually kind of honors the deal for the first 6 children.
Yeah, which is brutal. But then we learn there's more to it, right? These children are reincarnations.
Reincarnations of Hiranyakashipu's sons. So their deaths, while tragic on one level, also have this cosmic dimension. It's like balancing some ancient karmic accounts.
And then the scene just shifts dramatically. We're suddenly at Mount Meru.
The cosmic center, yeah. This mythical golden mountain. And it's the earth herself, personified, who's complaining.
Groaning under the weight of these powerful daityas, these demons.
Exactly, like Kalanemi, who crucially is reborn as Kamsa, and others like Arya, Dhanuka, Kashin.
Ralamba, Dwaraka.
Yeah.
The list goes on.
Right, and the earth goes to Brahma and all the deities, basically saying, look, this isn't just a local problem, this is a planetary crisis.
It really highlights the cosmic stakes involved. It's not just about one evil king.
Absolutely. The whole cosmos feels the burden when evil gets out of hand.
So this cosmic plea prompts Brahma to praise Vishnu, and this praise is, it's profound.
It really is. He describes Vishnu as the supreme, all-encompassing being, the source of everything knowledge, the Vedas, the senses, a very fabric of existence, both formed and formless.
Beyond our conception, really.
Yeah.
Moving without feet, grasping without hands.
Right. Visible only to the wise. This elevates Kamsa's impending birth, doesn't it? It's not just an event, it's a universal epic, a cosmic necessity.
Absolutely. And Vishnu's response is so symbolic. He plucks 2 hairs.
One black, one white, the black hair representing Kayat, the white one Balarama. It shows they come directly from the divine essence.
And then he instructs Yoga Nidra. She's his divine power of illusion.
Exactly. She's the one who orchestrates these seemingly impossible events. Vishnu tells her to transfer Devaki's 7th child, that's Balarama, who's an aspect of Sia, the cosmic serpent.
All right, yeah.
Transfer him to Rohi's womb. She's another of Vasudeva's wives, living safely away from Kamsa in the cattle camp.
Wow, that's some intricate divine strategy.
It's meticulous. It shows the Lord's foresight, how he outwits Kamsa. He even foretells Yoganidra's own birth to Yashoda, the famous exchange of babies, and how she'll eventually escape Kamsa and be worshipped.
It's incredible how the plan unfolds, right down to that feudal moment where Kamsa tries to kill the baby girl and she just escapes and mocks him.
Yeah, transforms into this powerful goddess. It's a perfectly orchestrated cosmic play, ensuring the divine purpose unfolds exactly as intended.
So ends chapter 1 in book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
The deities praise Devaki.
Okay, so following Vidra's instructions, Yoganidra does her part. Balarama is transferred. And then Hariviyu himself enters Devaki's womb.
And this isn't just biological, right? It's cosmically huge. The universal essence condensing into human form.
Precisely. But, and this is key, retaining its boundless nature even within that form.
The text says Devaki starts radiating this brilliant light. So bright, no one could look at her without wonder.
Yeah, it's an immediate physical manifestation of the divinity within her. She becomes this living beacon, almost too luminous for mortal eyes.
And the deities, unseen by humans, they gather around her.
To praise her. They call her Praki, the supreme primal nature, the material cause of everything.
The womb of creation, the source of the Vedas.
Exactly. And the origin of qualities like knowledge, understanding, firmness, it elevates her beyond just a human mother.
Yeah.
She becomes this universal principle, the feminine creative force.
But the most mind-blowing part is when they say she contains the entire cosmos within her womb.
Yes. Countless seas, rivers, lands, forests, cities, celestial realms. All inside her.
It's such a powerful symbolic image, the microcosm containing the macrocosm.
It really illustrates that paradox, the divine inhabiting a finite form, yet that form holding the infinite.
It's almost impossible to grasp.
It is. And they declare that Vishnu, whose every aspect is beyond comprehension, now rests within her, the immeasurable residing in the measurable.
And they call her Svaha and Svata.
Right, those are exclamations used in offerings to gods and ancestors. It implies her role is essential for sustaining the cosmos, like a sacred offering herself, come to Earth specifically to protect the worlds. Her very being is cosmic protection.
Wow.
Just wow. So ends Chapter 2 in Book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
The advent of Phelan.
So with Vishnu inside her, Devaki gives birth. It's Coop, born at midnight.
And the whole atmosphere changes. It's filled with auspicious signs, good weather, rivers making sweet music.
Gandharva singing, apsaras dancing.
Bright, steady fires, even thunderclouds rumbling gently and shedding flowers like rain. It's a cosmic symphony celebrating his arrival.
And Vasudeva sees the newborn coat, not as a normal baby.
No, he sees him in his four-armed divine form, holding the conch, mace, discus, with the Shrivatsa mark on his chest. Majestic.
But both Vasudeva and Devaki are terrified, aren't they? Because of Kamsa.
Exactly. They're overwhelmed by the divine sight, but also gripped by human fear. They actually implore the Lord to withdraw that heavenly form to look like a normal baby for protection.
Which is such a human reaction amidst this divine event.
It really is. And Kamsa assures them, reminds them of their past prayers for a son like him, and says their wish is fulfilled. Then Yoganidra works her magic again.
The guards fall asleep.
Right. And under this spell, Vasudeva carries the infant Kamsa through the dark night to Gokula.
To swap him with Yashoda's newborn daughter.
Yes, the famous swap. It's crucial for Kamsa's safety, setting up his childhood among the cowherds hidden from Kamsa.
And there's that incredible detail about the journey. The serpent Sia.
Ah, yes. Sia follows Vasudeva, using his many hoods, like an umbrella, to shield them from the rain.
And the Yamuna River parts for them.
Rises only to Vasudeva's knees. It's a clear visual confirmation of the divine protection surrounding Kamsa. Nature itself is obeying him.
Then we get the climax of the chapter back in Mathura. Kamsa finds the baby girl.
Yoganidra, of course, and he tries to dash her against a rock, horrifying.
But she just slips from his grasp.
Miraculously escapes, transforms into an 8-armed goddess, wielding weapons.
And tells him his slayer is already born.
Exactly. She says, he is the essence of all the gods who caused your death in former times. Basically rubbing it in. Then, poof, she vanishes into the sky.
Leaving Kamsa just staring, bewildered and furious. What a dramatic reveal.
It solidifies the prophecy, makes Kamsa's fate absolutely undeniable now.
So ends Chapter 3 in Book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Kamsa plots to kill Kamsa.
So Kamsa is, understandably, deeply troubled and furious. The goddess's prophecy has hit home.
So he immediately calls his top demons together.
Yes, his chief advisors in evil, you could say. Kashin, Pralamba, Dhanuka, Putana, Adye. He gathers them to figure out how to kill Kaya and Balarama.
He suspects them now, doesn't he?
Absolutely. He knows they're his destined destroyers. His reaction isn't self-reflection. It's just more cruelty, consolidating power.
And he boasts about his own prowess, dismissing the gods.
Completely scornful. Reminds his demons how he made Indra retreat, how he supposedly controls the rain with his missiles. It shows his arrogance, his power, but also how deluded he is.
He really doesn't grasp the true nature of divine power, does he?
Not at all. He thinks his temporary might is everything. He's blind to his inevitable downfall.
And his plan is just chilling.
It is. First, kill all ascetics and sacrificers. He thinks this will disempower the gods, cut off their sustenance from the rituals.
Like attacking their supply lines.
Sort of, yeah. Then, the really brutal part. Search out and kill all boys on Earth who show special powers. It's a desperate, wide-ranging attempt to just eliminate any potential threat. To cheat fate.
It's incredibly ironic, then, that after giving these orders, he lets Vasudeva and Devaki go.
Right. He tells them, oh, your kids were killed for nothing. My real slayer already escaped. He's trying to look magnanimous, maybe. Or perhaps he's genuinely confused by the goddess's words.
But the dark plan is already in motion.
Exactly. It just shows his paranoia, his deep-seated fear beneath all the bluster.
So ends chapter 4 in book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Kenslei's Putana.
Okay, so Vasudeva and Devaki are free, but Vasudeva is still worried, naturally.
Very cautious. He goes to Nanda's cattle camp where Rohi is staying with Balarama.
And he advises Nanda to head back to their own camp in Gokula.
Subtly hinting, protect your son, meaning Balarama, is that quiet parental concern playing out amidst this huge divine drama.
And soon after they get back to Gokula, this demoness appears. Putana.
Ah, yes, the child killer. A really nasty fiend. She kills any baby she suckles by offering her poisoned breast.
And she finds baby Khan, and this is his first major encounter with the demon, isn't it?
It is a direct threat to his infant life. Establishes his role as a protector right from the start.
But Kaina, he doesn't just resist her.
No, this is where you see his innate power. He grabs her breast tight, squeezes it, and literally sucks the life force right out of her.
Drains her completely.
Completely. She screams, her sinews snap, her eyes bulge, and her huge, horrid body just falls down, dead. It's an incredible display of strength from an infant.
The villagers wake up to this giant, dead fiend. Nanda and Yashoda must have been terrified.
Absolutely. And they have no idea is Kano, right? They think he's just a baby who miraculously survived.
So they try to protect him with traditional methods.
Exactly. Yashoda waves a cowtail whisk to ward off evil. Nanda sprinkles powdered cow dung, a purifier.
And then Nanda recites this detailed benediction.
Yes, it's quite remarkable. He invokes all these different forms of Vinohari, Keshava, Janardana, Ashuta, Vinu himself, Noryanda, Nusada the man-lion.
All these powerful aspects of the Lord.
To protect every part of Kenya's body and all the directions around him. It shows their deep parental love, their faith in VO, even as it contrasts beautifully with Kencha's own inherent divinity. He doesn't need protecting, but their devotion is pure.
So ends chapter 5 in book 5 of the glorious Viboitun.
Kenya's childhood.
So Katincha's extraordinary childhood just keeps rolling. There's the incident with the wagon.
Oh, yes. As an infant, just crying for milk, he kicks his little legs and somehow overturns this heavy wagon, smashes all the pots and vessels on it.
And the other kids saw it.
They did. They're the witnesses, telling the bewildered adult, no, really, it was just the baby. It's another impossible feat.
Then later, the priest Garga comes, secretly.
Yes, sent by Vasudeva. They have to keep things quiet because of Kamsa. Garga performs the birthrites for both Kenaz and Balarama and formally names them.
So Balarama the elder and Kena the younger.
Exactly. It solidifies their identities within the Yadu lineage, even though their true nature is still mostly hidden.
And as they grow into toddlers, they're just typical mischievous boys.
Oh yeah, crawling around in dung and ashes, pulling calves' tails, really embodying that playful earthly side of their divine nature.
And Yashoda tries to tie Khan to a heavy wooden mortar to keep him out of trouble.
A perfectly normal thing for a mother to do with an energetic toddler, right? But with Ketcha, nothing is ever quite normal.
He drags the mortar.
He does. Drags it between two huge Arjuna trees. The mortar gets lodged, and Kesha's pull instantly brings both trees crashing down.
Wow. And this earns him the name Damodara.
Yes, Damodara, rope around the waist. A seemingly ordinary name tied to this extraordinary display of divine power. It's that constant contrast, the divine hiding within the mundane.
So all these strange events, the wagon, the trees, it makes the herdsmen nervous.
Understandably. They start fearing evil omens, bad luck. So they decide to move the whole camp.
To the Governor.
Right. A place described as eternally lush, beautiful. This move is a big turning point. It gives this idyllic setting for his later pastimes and keeps the community safe.
And the chapter describes their life there so beautifully.
It really does. Tending calves, playing flutes, wearing peacock feathers, roaming the forest. It's pastoral perfection.
But it also weaves in these amazing metaphors, doesn't it? Comparing nature to spiritual states.
Exactly. Like pure white clouds leaving the sky are like enlightened souls leaving home. Or the calm ocean is like an ascetic's steady heart reaching union with the Lord.
It elevates the whole scene. Nature itself becomes a reflection of the spiritual path.
It shows the divine presence everywhere, in every aspect of the natural world.
So ends chapter 6 in book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Kenna subdues the serpent Kaliya.
Okay, so Ken is in Vrindavana now, and one day he comes across this pool in the Yamuna River.
Yes, the pool of the Naga, the serpent Kaliya, and it's frightful, poison-filled.
The venom is so potent, it scorched the trees nearby, and scalded birds flying over.
That's right, made the water completely undrinkable. And kind of recognizes this isn't just any serpent. It's the same Kaliya he beat in a previous life as Garuta.
Ah, so this is like round 2 of a cosmic conflict.
Exactly. And Kenna knows he needs to pacify Kaliya, not just defeat him, to restore the river's purity.
So he just jumps in from a kadama tree.
Leaps right into the toxic water. Causes this huge commotion. The water heats up, trees on the distant bank catch fire from the serpent's energy. His impact is immediate and powerful.
And Kaliya attacks this multi-hooded serpent.
Furious. Coils around Kana, strikes him with fiery, venomous fangs. It looks bad.
The cowherds rush to the scene. Nanda, Yashoda, Balarama, they're terrified.
Heartbroken. The women especially are wailing, expressing this deep, anguished love for Kaya, saying life is meaningless without him. You really feel their profound connection to him. It's more than just family.
It's like he's their very life breath.
Precisely. And Balarama, seeing Kana seemingly helpless and everyone panicking, gives him a nudge.
Reminds him who he really is.
Reminds him he's the universal cause, the creator, preserver, destroyer. It's that subtle prompt Khan needs to drop the human act for a moment.
And Khan just smiles.
Smiles, effortlessly frees himself from the coils and starts dancing.
Dancing on the serpent's hoods.
Triumphantly dancing on Kaliya's many hoods. Causes the serpent to vomit blood and finally beg for mercy. It's not just power, it's this divine dance, subduing ego, subduing poison, restoring balance.
And Kaliya and his wives, they offer praises.
Profound praises. They recognize Kaliya's supreme, limitless nature. And Kaliya shows mercy.
He wasn't killing.
No, he orders Kaliya to leave the Yamuna and go to the ocean. And he promises Garut, the serpent's enemy, won't harm him because Kaliya's footprints are now on Kaliya's head.
Wow. So he restores the river and sets up this divine protection.
Exactly. Reestablishes ecological and divine order. Purifies the Yamuna. Shows himself as the benevolent restorer.
So ends chapter 7 in book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Balarama defeats Dhanuka, the donkey demon.
Okay, now the focus shifts a bit. It's Balarama's turn to shine.
Right. The narrative makes sure his own mighty deeds get their due. He and Kala are tending cows, and they come across this grove, Talavana.
Full of ripe coconuts. Sounds nice.
It would be, except it's terrorized by this donkey demon, Dhanuka, a flesh eater. He keeps everyone out.
So the herdsmen see the coconuts, they want them.
Yeah, they ask Balarama and Kolma if they can maybe shake some down. A subtle request, but it leads right to the confrontation. Dhanuka hears the fruit falling and charges.
And Dhanuka attacks Balarama, kicks him in the chest.
He does. But Balarama, it's almost effortless for him. He just grabs the demon by its hind legs, whirls it around until it's dead, and then just
throws it onto a palm tree.
Throws the body onto a palm tree, which crashes down, showering coconuts everywhere. Such a raw, powerful display. No frills, just immense strength.
And then other donkey demons show up. Dhanuka's relatives.
They do, rushing in for revenge.
Yeah.
But Balarama and Konka together just dispatch them easily, almost playfully tossing their bodies onto other palm trees.
So the grove is suddenly full of coconuts and dead demons.
Pretty much, highlighting how easily they handle these destructive forces.
And the result? The grove is safe now.
Exactly. Safe for the cattle to graze. It signifies removing obstacles, making the once dangerous place abundant and safe again, a direct benefit from the Divine Brothers.
So ends chapter 8 in book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Balarama destroys Pralamba, the cowherd demon.
So Talavana is secure. Balarama and Kent are feeling good. joyful. They head over to the butter banyan tree.
And they're just being boys, right? Playing games, singing.
Exactly. Jumping, exploring, grazing the cattle. The text really emphasizes their youthful forms, but also their power. Compares them to young bulls or two clouds, one white, one black with a rainbow. Divine splendor, even in their human disguise.
But then a demon shows up. Pralamba, disguised.
Disguised as a cowherd boy. He just walks up, trying to blend in, but his intent is to capture and kill them.
He tries to separate them.
Yeah. First targets Ken, then Balarama, trying to infiltrate their game, exploit their apparent innocence.
And they're playing this game, Catch the Deer.
Right. Losers have to carry the winners, and Pralamba ends up carrying Balarama.
But Balarama's divine weight.
Exactly. Even in human form, his weight is immense. It forces the demon to reveal his true form, grows to this fearsome mountain-like size. The disguise is broken.
Yeah, this is interesting. Balarama calls out to Kenta for help, even though he's so powerful.
It seems like it, but Kanta's response clarifies things. He doesn't offer physical help. Instead, he reminds Balarama of his own divine nature.
Reminds him who he is.
Precisely. Emphasizes their unity as the single universal cause, present in everything, sky, water, earth, fire, mind. Calls Balarama the thousand-faced being, the source of Brahmas, the one who consumes the world as time.
So it's not a cry for help, it's more like a divine signal.
Exactly. A reminder for Balarama to drop the human illusion and unleash his full cosmic power.
And Balarama just laughs.
Laughs, then powerfully squeezes Pralamba, strikes him hard on the head. The demon's eyes pop out, skull cracks, blood gushes. He dies instantly.
Wow. It really reinforces that idea, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They're divine beings playing a role, and their true power is just immense when they access it.
Absolutely. One reminder, and the game is over for the demon.
So ends Chapter 9 in Book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Autumn in the cattle camp.
Okay, the narrative shifts tone now. It becomes quite lyrical, describing the change of seasons.
Yes, moving from the rainy season into autumn. Lots of imagery of blossoming lotuses, clear skies. It's beautiful.
And it uses these literary analogies again, linking nature to spiritual states.
Right. Like those pure white clouds leaving the sky are compared to enlightened beings leaving home. Or the tranquil ocean waters are like an ascetic, steady heart finding union with the Lord.
It really makes you see nature differently, like a spiritual text itself.
Exactly. The whole chapter is full of these symbolic insights. Observing nature becomes a form of contemplation.
So as the seasons change, Kena notices the herdsmen getting ready for a big festival.
Their traditional festival honoring Indra, the god of rain and clouds. Makes sense, right? He provides the rain for their cattle and crops.
But Kena throws a spanner in the works. He questions this tradition.
He does. Offers this really revolutionary idea.
Yeah.
He asks, why worship Indra? We're forced nomads. Our lives depend on the cattle in the mountains.
So their deities should be the cattle and the mountains.
That's his argument, a philosophy of immediate reliance. Worship what directly sustains you. It's quite pragmatic in a way.
He suggests they make offerings to Mount Govardhana instead, and to the cattle.
Yes, offer milk, circumambulate them, and then Klein does something extraordinary.
He manifests on top of the mountain.
Declares, I am this mountain in bodily form. And then he partakes in the feasts they offer to the mountain. So he's essentially worshiping his second self.
Whoa! That's a critical moment. He's revealing his identity with nature itself.
And subtly challenging the whole hierarchy of gods, directing devotion towards a more immediate, tangible form of the divine. It's a major theological shift he's introducing.
So ends Chapter 10 in Book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
In raises Mount Govardhana.
Well, as you might expect, Indra is not happy. At all.
His festival got canceled in favor of worshiping a mountain.
Exactly. He's furious. So he decides to unleash his wrath. He commands the Savartaka clouds, the really destructive storm clouds, to just annihilate the cattle and the herdsmen.
He's going to wipe them out.
That's the plan. He even says he'll help personally, riding his elephant Airavata.
And the storm hits. It sounds terrifying.
Oh, it is. The text describes sky and earth becoming one vast deluge. Relentless rain, terrifying thunder, pure chaos.
The cattle are suffering, dying, losing their young.
Crying out piteously. It's a scene of total misery, showcasing the raw, destructive power of an angry god.
He sees all this.
And he calmly recognizes it's Indra's doing, acknowledges Indra's peak, his wounded pride. And he resolves immediately to save his people and their animals. Steps right into his protective role.
And then he does the impossible. He lifts the mountain.
Mount Govardhana, with just one finger, effortlessly lifts this massive mountain and holds it up like a giant umbrella.
Just incredible.
He invites everyone, herdsmen, women, cattle, to take shelter underneath, reassures them, tells them not to fear the wind or rain.
And they stay there for 7 nights.
7 nights. While this colossal storm rages outside, Indra keeps pouring down rain, but everyone under the mountain is safe, warm, and dry.
Indra must realize he's beaten.
Eventually, yes. He fails to destroy them. He finally commands the clouds to stop, acknowledging Khatuni's superior power.
And Khatun just gently puts the mountain back.
Gently places it back on its foundations. The herdsmen are just filled with wonder, completely amazed.
This act really cements Khatian's status, doesn't it? Supreme power, even over the king of the gods.
Absolutely. He's shown himself to be the ultimate protector, a force beyond anything Indra can muster.
So ends chapter 11 in book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Indra praises Keen.
So after this major defeat, Indra seeks out Kina. He goes to Govardhana on his elephant, Airavata.
But he's not angry anymore.
No, the tone is completely shifted. He approaches Kina and he notices something significant. He sees Garuda, the chief of birds.
Vinusma.
Exactly. Invisible to mortals, but Indra sees him, shading Kanta's head with his wings. It's a clear sign to Indra this isn't just a cowherd boy. This confirms Kanta's divine status.
So Indra gets off his elephant and approaches Kana respectfully.
With affection, actually. No anger left, just profound respect. He acknowledges Kana as the supreme lord, the foundation of the universe, who came to Earth to ease its burden.
He's basically admitting Kansa's purpose and power are far greater than his own.
Yes, and he admits his mistake. Confesses he sent the storm out of pique because his festival was abandoned. Says it was his ego. He praises Kanta's marvelous undertaking in lifting the mountain. It's a moment of real divine humility.
Acknowledging Kana's authority.
Completely. Then something fascinating happens. The cows Kana saved, they suggest something.
Yes. They suggest Indra consecrate Kana. So Indra performs this anointing ceremony.
He consecrates Kana as Upendra, literally Indra's younger brother, acknowledging a relationship, but clearly positioning Kana as superior now. And he gives him the name Govinda.
Finder of cows or lord of cows.
Right. And as Karis is anointed, the text says the cattle flood the whole world with streams of wondrous milk, a symbol of the prosperity and abundance that Kinsa brings.
Then Indra asks a favor.
He does. He asks Kinsa to protect Arjuna, and he reveals that Arjuna is actually an aspect of Indra himself, reborn on Earth.
Wow, so that connects things even further.
Exactly. Kansa agrees, promises to shield Arjuna, and he foresees the great Bharata war, saying it will be a way to finally relieve the Earth's burden after demons like Kamsa and Dwaraka are gone.
So even this moment connects to that larger cosmic plan. Kansa is the orchestrator.
Always. Everything is interconnected in his divine play.
So ends chapter 12 in book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Kinsa delights the herding women.
Okay, so Indra has left. The herdsmen have seen Kansa lift a mountain. They're understandably astonished.
Yeah, they can't just see him as an ordinary mortal anymore. Even though he's young and playful, they're confused.
They ask him, are you a deity? A Danava? A Yaka?
Right, they're trying to categorize him, figure him out. But ultimately, they just accept him as their beloved kinsman, even if they're still in awe.
And Kinsa's reaction is interesting. He gets a bit peeved.
Just slightly, playfully insist, no, I'm just one of you, your kinsman. It shows he wants to keep interacting on that human level, maintain the veil, the Leela.
So then, under the autumn moon, in these fragrant lotus forests, Kanya starts to sing.
Yes, sweet romantic songs. He sets his heart on, well, making love with the herding women, the gopis. His singing enchants them.
This is the start of the famous Rasalito, isn't it?
It is the symbolic dance of divine love and devotion.
And the gopis, hearing his voice, they just drop everything.
Abandon their homes, their duties. They overcome all societal rules and rush to him. Their reactions are diverse, though.
Some join his song, some just fix him in their minds.
Some are shy, others are bold and rush right up to him. It shows the different ways devotion manifests.
But what about those who couldn't leave? Maybe their family stopped them.
This is really insightful. The text says those gopis simply close their eyes and contemplate Govinda intensely, as if they were one with him.
And this contemplation itself brings liberation.
Exactly. The bliss they feel frees them from faults. The anguish of not seeing him frees them from sins. It emphasizes that profound spiritual connection, that realization can happen through intense devotion alone, even without physical presence. Mental union is powerful.
That's a really important point.
Then Kodo engages in the actual circle dance, the Rasa Lila. He manifests a separate form for each gopi.
So each one feels his personal attention and love.
Yes. And later, still lost in devotion, groups of women wander Vrindavana, imitating his past deeds, walking like him, reenacting the Kaliya dance, pretending to lift Govardhana.
It shows how completely immersed they are in their love for him.
Absolutely. And there's that detail where one gopi analyzes Kotan's footprints mixed with another girl's,
Showing his brief attachment, then playful abandonment.
Right. It reveals his divine inscrutability, but also the depth of their devotion, even when feeling momentarily left behind. The chapter ends by saying, Kasen paraded them, their husbands, all creation like air.
Implying a spiritual union far beyond the physical.
Precisely. His omnipresence, the true nature of their divine relationship.
So ends chapter 13 in book 5 of the glorious Viopuro.
Cain slays Arya the bull demon.
So one night, while Kasen is enjoying the circle dance, another demon attacks Arya.
The bull demon, described as dark as a thundercloud, sharp horns, blazing eyes, sounds formidable.
He comes charging into the cattle camp, destroying forests, causing chaos, making cows miscarry, pure destructive energy.
And the herders and women, they cry out for Ken again, their protector.
Yes, and Kenan immediately responds. Gives this lion's roar, claps his hands, challenges the beast directly, steps right up.
Arya charges him, aims his horns at Kinnessent's belly.
With full intent to kill. But Keisha meets him head on. With almost playful disrespect, the text says, like a crocodile seizing prey.
He grabs the bull by the horns.
Holds him steady, knees him hard on the abdomen, snaps his horns, and wrings his neck like a wet rag. Just completely overpowers him.
But then he does something extra. He uses the bull's own horn.
Yes. Tears out one of the horns he just snapped off and beats the Daitia to death with it. Blood gushes. The bull falls dead.
That's symbolically powerful, isn't it? Using the enemy's own weapon against them.
Very much so. Shows his ability to turn any opposition, any attribute, into a tool for divine justice.
And the herdsmen celebrate. They praise him, comparing him to Indra.
Yes. Praising Janardana, just as the gods once praised Indra for killing the demon Jamba, it further cements his status in their eyes not just strong, but a divine hero on par with the king of gods.
So ends chapter 14 in book 5 of the glorious Vikupura.
Kamsa sends Akrura to the cattle camp.
Okay, things are escalating. The sage Narada appears again.
Yes, Narada, the divine reporter, you could say. He goes to Kamsa and lays it all out, tells him everything Kamsa's done.
The slaying of Aryada, Dhanuka, Pralamba, Putana.
The wagon, the trees, Kaliya, Govardhana. Narada lists all these mighty deeds, and crucially, he reveals the truth about the baby exchange.
So Kamsa now knows for sure Kamsa is Devaki's son.
Exactly. His worst fears confirmed. He's consumed with fury. He knows Kamsa and Balarama are his destined destroyers.
So he plots their deaths again, but this time more elaborately.
Yes, a public spectacle. He plans this wrestling tournament in Mathura. He'll use his best wrestlers, Kasyura and Lutika, to kill them in a rigged match.
And he has a backup plan. The elephant.
Right, the fierce elephant Kuvalayapia. If the boys somehow survive the journey and reach Mathura, the elephant's supposed to crush them at the entrance to the arena.
It's a multi-layered assassination plot.
Absolutely. And he sends Akrura, a prominent Yadava, to fetch them.
Using the wrestling festival as the pretext?
Exactly. But Kamsa also gives Akrura a secret order for Kishin, the horse demon, to attack the boys on their way to Mathura. He's hedging his bets.
But Akrura's reaction is the fascinating part here.
It really is. Despite knowing Kamsa's evil intentions, despite the danger, Akrura isn't afraid. He's filled with love and devotion for Keita.
He's actually excited.
He feels incredibly lucky. He knows he's going to behold the Lord the next day. His inner thoughts are all about Keita as Vino, the dispeller of sins, the spirit of sacrifice.
So Kamsa's wicked plan becomes, for Akrura, this amazing spiritual opportunity.
Precisely. It turns the whole mission on its head. It's a journey of profound spiritual anticipation for him.
So ends chapter 15 in book 5 of the glorious Vitupura.
Again slays Kay and the horse demon.
So as planned by Kamsa, the horse demon Krishin heads towards Vrindavana.
And he's terrifying. The description is vivid hooves rending the earth, mane scattering clouds, leaps that seem to cross the orbits of the sun and moon.
His neighing alone causes terror.
sends the herders fleeing to Kea for protection. It's sheer monstrous power.
And Keda, how does he react?
He reassures them, his voice like deep thunder. And then he boldly challenges Kashin, mocks him, calls him a wicked, prancing pony, scoffs at his reliance on just whinnying.
That's quite disdainful.
It shows Kesha's fearlessness, his almost casual approach to these monstrous threats. He knows their true measure.
And his method of fighting Kashin is unique.
Very. He doesn't just attack from the outside. He confronts the demon head-on and thrusts his arm deep into Kashin's gaping mouth.
Inside the demon.
Yes, and then his arm starts to grow inside Kashin's body. Like an internal plague, the text says. It smashes the demon's teeth, splits its lips, makes it foam blood, eyes pop out. It's internal destruction.
That's horrifyingly effective.
It splits the demon's body in two, rips him apart from the inside. The herdsmen are just amazed watching this huge beast torn asunder.
And Narada appears again, unseen.
Yes, filled with pleasure at Kani's feet. And Narada points out that even Indra and the other gods feared this particular demon.
So Kenki's power is shown to be superior again.
Definitely. And Narada makes a proclamation. Because Kingsi slew wicked Kashin,
He'll be known as Keshava.
forever known as Kesha, throughout the world. Narada then connects this victory to the bigger picture again. Foretells the final battle with Kasi in 2 days, emphasizing Keshi's role in easing the Earth's burden.
Everything leads towards that final confrontation.
Everything.
So ends chapter 16 in book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Akrura arrives at the cattle camp.
So Akrura is on his way in his chariot, heading to Nanda's camp.
But his mind isn't on Casey's orders. It's full of devotional thoughts.
Completely consumed by them, he feels so incredibly lucky. He's going to see Kesha's face. He thinks of Kate as his discus-wielding Viho, come down to earth, the one who wipes away sins, the very essence of sacrifice.
He really has a deep understanding of who Casey is.
Oh, yes. He reflects on Ken as the unchanging, birthless, all-pervading reality who took all those other forms, fish, tortoise, boar, lion, horse.
The previous avatars.
Right, to preserve the world. And now he's taken this mortal body for his divine purpose. Akrura's inner monologue is just beautiful, full of this deep spiritual insight.
He desperately wants Kenna's touch, believes it removes all stains.
Yes, he recalls how King Bali gained immortality just by offering water to Vitna's hand in the Vamana dwarf incarnation. He yearns for that same perfection-imparting touch.
And then he arrives. It's sunset, the cows are being milked.
And he sees Kenta wandering among the calves, radiant like an azure water lily petal, lotus eyes, Srivatsa mark, long arms, yellow clothes, pleasant smile.
And Balarama is beside him.
White as jasmine, dressed in blue, looking like Mount Kailasa wreathed in clouds. The description really emphasizes their divine beauty, even in this pastoral setting.
Akrura is just overcome. His body bristles with excitement.
He recognizes them immediately as the twofold manifestation of Lord Vasudeva. Seeing them is, for him, the highest fulfillment, the supreme spiritual state.
But then he has a moment of doubt. Worries Kiana might despise him because he's associated with Kaisa.
Yes, a fleeting human anxiety, even though he knows he's blameless. But he quickly overcomes it. He realizes Kana is knowledge itself. Pure truth. He knows everything, sees the heart, and is untouched by faults or associations. So Akrura's faith wins out. He approaches the universal Lord with his heart just full of devotion, transcending that brief fear.
So ends chapter 17 in book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
And sets out for Mathura.
So Akrura approaches Kan, bowing his head at Hari's feet.
And Kana's response is immediate warmth. He welcomes Akrura, touches him with his hand, the hand marked with divine symbols like a banner, thunderbolt, lotus, and hugs him with love.
Instantly validating Akrura's faith, dispelling any fear.
Exactly. Total acceptance. Then Akrura tells Ka why he's there, recounts Kaisa's abuses, the invitation to the tournament.
And Kai just calmly says, I know all this already.
Yes. And adds that, in his mind, Kaisa's already slain. He promises to defeat him within 3 days. Shows his divine foreknowledge, the inevitability of it all.
So the next morning, they prepare to leave. Kanya, Balarama, Akrura, heading for Mathura. But the gopis.
Oh, the herding women are heartbroken, overcome with grief and fear. The text says their bracelets slip from their arms, a symbol of lost joy. They sigh deeply.
They're afraid Kanya will forget them, aren't they? Get charmed by the city women.
Yes, they lament his departure. They worry he'll mock their simple, rustic ways after experiencing Mathura's sophistication. They question if he'll ever remember them, if he'll return. They even call him heartless.
It's so poignant. Shows their deep emotional dependence, their vulnerability.
Absolutely. They even call Balarama Kanna and Damodara in their distress, showing how focused their love is.
Then on the journey, Akrura stops at the Yamuna River for his rituals. And something amazing happens.
Yes, a pivotal moment. He submerges himself to meditate, and underwater, he has this profound vision.
He sees Balarama as Sia.
In his true form as Sia, the thousand-hooded cosmic serpent, white as jasmine, ruddy eyes, wearing forest flowers, looking drunk with joy, surrounded by other serpents.
And reclining on Sia's lap.
He sees Kinta as View himself. Dark as thunderclouds, four-armed, holding the discus and mace, adorned with divine jewels, worshipped by sages deep in meditation.
He sees their true forms, but then he looks up, and they're still in the chariot.
Exactly. He's astonished. Sees them in the vision, then sees them back in the chariot. This prompts him to offer this deep praise to Kina.
Acknowledging him as the ultimate existence, beyond thought, the essence of creation, the single cause of everything.
It confirms his vision. He's seen behind the veil, glimpsed their true, universal, divine nature.
So ends Chapter 18 in Book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Kinta slays the washerman and blesses the garland maker.
So Akrura finishes his praises, his mind fixed on the absolute after that vision. He comes out of the water and returns to the chariot.
Still full of awe, I imagine.
Completely astonished. Kint, seeing him, playfully asks, "Did you see anything wondrous down there in the Yamuna?"
And Akrura's reply is perfect.
Isn't it? He says the greatest wonder he saw is standing right there before him, in mortal form. That Kenta himself, filling the world, is the ultimate marvel.
Beautiful. So they continue into Mathura. The crowds are watching them, joyful.
And they encounter this washerman. One favored by Kaisa, apparently quite arrogant. He's dyeing clothes.
And Kinsa just asks him for some fine clothes to wear, with a smile.
Yes, but the washerman is incredibly insolent. Curses them loudly. Kenta's reaction is swift.
He gets enraged.
Yes, and strikes off the washerman's head with a single blow. Just like that. Swift, decisive justice against arrogance and disrespect.
And the boys just help themselves to the clothes then. Kenta taking yellow, Balarama blue.
Exactly. Symbolically taking on these royal colors, ready for what's next.
Then, in stark contrast, they meet a garland maker.
Right. And his reaction is the complete opposite of the washerman's. He's filled with astonishment, reverence, bows down, forehead to the earth. He immediately recognizes their divinity.
It really highlights how different people react to the divine based on their own nature.
Absolutely. The garland maker offers them the finest flowers, bowing repeatedly with a cheerful smile. Kea is pleased.
And grants him boons.
Extraordinary boons. Unending prosperity, strength, a long-lasting lineage, a virtuous mind, healthy, long-lived children, and finally, a place in heaven after death.
Wow. It's a powerful illustration, isn't it? The reward for devotion versus the consequence of arrogance.
A very clear lesson woven into the narrative.
So ends Chapter 19 and Book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Kayant and Mathura, the wrestling bout. Kaisa's demise.
So Kayant and Balarama continue through Mathura, and they meet a young woman, Naikabakra.
Yes, she has a crooked spine, a hunchback. She's Kaisa's masseuse, carrying massage oil. Kes playfully asks her for some.
Just engaging her lightly.
Right. And after she gives him some, he applies it, and then he performs a miracle.
He straightens her spine.
Instantly. Lifts her chin, presses her feet, and transforms her into the handsomest of women. It shows his power to literally straighten what's bent.
A physical transformation that maybe hints at the straightening of justice to come.
That's a great way to put it. A subtle foreshadowing. Then they reach the archery hall.
And Kes breaks the big bow. Ugava, the iron cow.
Casually breaks this mighty bow. The sound echoes through the whole city. It's a clear provocation, announcing his arrival, challenging Kes's power.
Kaza hears about all this. The woman, the bow. He must be furious.
Oh, he is. He immediately orders his wrestlers, Kashura and Mutika and the elephant driver, kill them. The stage is set for the final showdown in the arena.
The tension must be immense. The city crowds gather.
Including Devaki and Vasudeva. Everyone's filled with anticipation, fear, and Kant and Balarama make their entrance.
But first, the elephant, Kulayapya.
Right at the entrance. They kill the mighty elephant first smear themselves with its blood and must, and then stride into the arena like lions. A very powerful statement.
And the crowd recognizes them immediately, starts recounting their deeds.
Yes. Putana, the wagon, the trees, Kaliya, Govardhana, Arya, Dhanuka, Kishin, they list everything. They know who this is. They call Kiana Asyuta, the imperishable deity, Fidu's aspect.
But they lament the match, right? Seeing Kanta's tender form against these muscled demons.
They see it as unfair, not realizing Kansa's true strength. So Kinda fights Kanchur. Balarna fights Mutika.
Kina toys with Kanchur.
Playfully, almost. Before whirling him around 100 times and dashing to the ground, kills him instantly. Balarma does the same to Mutika and another wrestler, Kurshalaka.
Kamsa is enraged, orders everyone killed Kinta, Nanda, Vasudeva.
But Kane just laughs, leaps onto the royal dais, grabs Kasa by the hair, throws him down, and then jumps on him.
With the weight of the universe.
Exactly. Ends Kasa's life. Balarama takes care of Kaisa's brother, Sunaman. It's swift, total victory.
And then that really poignant moment, they go to Vasudeva and Devaki.
Untie them, touch their feet, and Vasudeva, his insight is awakened.
He sees Kite for who he truly is.
Yes, recognizes him as the supreme creator, the upholder of the world. Admits his own grave misjudgment in just seeing him as his son. He understands it was all divine illusion, Maya. His true nature transcends all human bonds.
So ends chapter 20 in book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Ugrasena is reinstated.
Right after Vasudeva and Devaki have this profound realization, Kaitna, or Hari, deliberately veils their insight again.
He uses his illusion, Maya. Why?
To maintain his appearance as immortal, for the sake of the Yadu clan and his ongoing earthly role, allows him to keep playing the part.
Then he humbly asks his parents' forgiveness for his past actions.
Yes, explains he acted out of fear of Kasa, and he emphasizes how important it is to respect gurus and parents. Says the lives of those who don't are deficient, in vain.
It's a beautiful moment of upholding Dharma, societal duty, even for him.
It really is, setting an example. Then he comforts Kasa's weeping wives and mothers.
Showing compassion even to his enemy's family.
Exactly, no gloating, just solace, tears in his own eyes. Shows his benevolent nature.
And then he deals with the kingdom. He reinstates Ugrasena.
Yes, sets Kasa's father free and makes him king of Mathura again. And this is significant because of that old curse from Yayati.
The one that prevented the Yadavas from being sovereigns.
Right, but Kanna basically overrides it. He declares that with his service, Ugrasena can rule even the gods. Shows Kamsa's power to nullify curses and grant immense authority.
He even gets Ugrasena Indra's assembly hall, Sudharma.
Summons Vayu, the wind god, with just a thought. Sends him to Indra demanding the hall, saying it's a gem fit for the Yadavas. And Indra, humbled, just grants the request.
Wow. That really shows Krishna's supreme authority over the gods.
Absolutely. Puts Ugrasena and the Yadavas above them. Then, what's truly remarkable, Kent and Balarama decide to become students.
Even though they possess all knowledge.
Yes. To demonstrate the proper teacher-student relationship, they become disciples of the Guru Sandapani in Avanti to learn about weapons.
And they master everything super fast.
Master 64 days of lessons in exactly 64 days. A superhuman feat, but it shows their willingness to follow human customs, respect the Guru tradition.
And for their Guru Dakhan, their payment, Sandapani asks for his dead son back.
The son who drowned in the ocean at Prabhasa, Kunt doesn't hesitate.
Dives into the ocean, kills the demon, goes to the land of the dead.
Slays the conch demon Panyajana who took the boy, goes to Yama City, defeats Yama himself, retrieves the Guru's son, and restores him to life in his original body.
Just casually defeating death. It underscores his absolute power over life and death.
And his commitment to upholding his duty, even as a disciple.
So ends Chapter 21 in Book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Kanta battles Jarasandha.
Now, a new antagonist enters the scene. Jarasandha.
Right, the powerful king of Magadha. And he's Kaisa's father-in-law.
So he's furious that Kayas killed Kaisa, seeking revenge.
Exactly. He attacks Mathura with this massive army, 23 divisions. Each one a huge force of elephants, chariots, cavalry, infantry. It's a major invasion.
Kaisan and Balarama prepare for battle. Summon their divine weapons.
Yes, Hari's Shriga bow and Kamodaki mace, Balarama's plow, and Sananda mace. They just appear, descending from the heavens, ready for action. Shows their inherent divine power.
And they defeat Jarasandha.
Rout his army easily. But Jarasandha himself manages to escape.
And this becomes a pattern, right?
A remarkable pattern, 18 battles in total between Jarasa and the Yadavas.
18?
And each time, Jarasandha, despite having way more troops, is defeated by the smaller Yadava force. But he always escapes.
Why let him escape? Why not finish it?
Well, the text gives us a key insight here. It says that for the universal Lord in mortal form, fighting battles, launching weapons, conquering enemies, it's just a game.
A divine sport, a Leela.
Precisely. For someone who can create and destroy universes with a thought, military victory isn't a struggle, it's a pastime, part of his divine play. Letting Jarasandha escape allows the game to continue, allows the Yadavas to repeatedly show their valor.
But Kata still fights like a mortal, uses strategy.
He does, engages in the usual practices of mortals, uses alliances, bribery, punishment, even tactical retreat, what the text calls flight.
So he's playing by human rules even though he's divine.
Exactly. Reinforces his human manifestation. Shows he can achieve his divine goals while adhering to the ways of the world, even as he utterly transcends them.
So ends chapter 22 in book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Kin leads the Yadavas to Dwaraka.
Okay, so Jarasandha keeps attacking. But now another threat emerges, Garja.
Yes, a Brahmin who was insulted by the Yadavas. He wants revenge. So he undertakes these incredibly severe austerities lives on iron filings for 12 years.
Just to get a son powerful enough to beat the Yadavas.
Exactly. And Shiva grants his wish. A warrior named Kalayavana, Black Yavana, is born to a childless Yavana king. He's destined to be their bane, has a chest as hard as a thunderbolt.
And Kalayavana hears about the Yadavas from Narada. Learns they're the mightiest.
Right. Maddened by pride, he decides to attack Mathura with millions of barbarians. This puts Gat in a tough spot.
A twofold threat, the text calls it.
Yes. If he fights Kalyavana, the Yadavas might be weakened enough for Jarasandha to win. If he focuses on Jarasandha, Kalyavana might overwhelm them. It's a strategic dilemma.
So Kali comes up with a plan. Build a fortress.
An impregnable stronghold. He asks the ocean for 12 leagues of land and builds the magnificent city of Dwaraka.
Described as being like Indra's heavenly city, Mahabharata.
Complete with parks, high walls, reservoirs, designed so well that even women could defend it, let alone the Yadavi heroes.
And Kali moves everyone from Mathura there.
Strategically leads all the residents to safety in Dwaraka. Then he goes back to Mathura alone, just as Kalayavana's army arrives.
And he comes out unarmed.
Deliberately non-provocative, Kalayavana sees him, recognizes Vasudeva, thinks he's maybe running scared, and chases him.
Right into that cave. This is ingenious.
Isn't it? He leads Kalayavana into the cave where King Mukukunda is sleeping.
The ancient hero with the boon. Whoever wakes him gets burned to ashes.
Exactly. Kalayavana, thinking it's Klinsha hiding, kicks Mukukunda, and poof, instantly reduced to ashes by the fire from Mukukunda's body. Kina didn't even have to lift a finger. Divinely orchestrated.
Mukukunda wakes up, sees Kina, and recognizes him.
Immediately. Recalls an old prophecy by Garga about Hari being born in the Yadu line. He praises Kina as the supreme refuge, beyond all phenomena.
And asks for liberation. He's tired of the world.
Yes, he's realized the futility, the inherent pain of worldly existence. He humbly asks for release from the cycle of birth and death. It's a powerful moment, the divine glance awakening this deep spiritual yearning.
So ends chapter 23 in book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Balarama returns to the cattle camp.
So Kalink grants Mukukunda's wish. Promises him unchallenged sovereignty, divine mercy, rebirth in a noble family, and eventual liberation through grace.
And Mukukunda leaves the cave, realizes time has passed, people are shorter now, it's the Kali age, and goes off to practice austerities.
Right, seeking that promised liberation. Meanwhile, Kanak, having dealt with Kalayavana, goes back, takes charge of the Yavana army and all its wealth, and leads it to Dwaraka, reassuring the Yadavas.
So the immediate conflicts are resolved. The Yadavas are safe in their new city, and Balarama gets homesick.
Understandably. He longs to see his family and friends back in the cattle camp, so he heads back to Nanda's camp.
And he's greeted with lots of love and respect.
Overwhelmingly. Hugs, laughter, affection from the herdsmen and women.
But the gopis, their reaction is mixed again.
Yes, this part is really poignant. Some are affectionate, sure, but others are sulking, jealous, doubting Kincha's loyalty.
They still fear he's forgotten them for the city women, that he'll mock their rustic ways.
Exactly. They question if he'll ever remember them, if he'll return. They even call Balarama Kinta and Damodara in their heartbreak.
It really shows the depth of their attachment, their human vulnerability, even in relation to the divine. The pain of separation is real for them.
Absolutely. But Balarama understands. He comforts them gently, relays kind, sweet, charming messages from Kinta, assuring them of his love.
Bridging that emotional gap.
Yes, and he also spends time swapping amusing stories with the herdsmen, just enjoying being back among them.
So ends chapter 24 in book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Balarama diverts the Yamuna River.
Okay, so Balarama is back in Vrindavana, roaming the forest near the camp.
Right. Balarama, who is also Shri, the cosmic serpent upholding the world, just enjoying himself. And Varuta, the god of waters, decides to amuse him.
Sends Mathura, the liquor goddess.
Yes. She manifests as this stream of liquor trickling from a kadamba tree. Balarama, who has, as the text says, an old hankering for wine, finds it irresistible.
So he drinks his fill, gets entertained by the herdsmen singing his praises.
Gets pretty drunk, actually. Moody, gleaming with perspiration. And in this state, he gets imperious.
Orders the Yamuna River to come to him for a bath.
Just commands it. Come here, Yamuna. When the river, quite reasonably, ignores him, Balarama gets furious. His eyes turn red.
And this is where we see Shia's power again, even through the drunkenness.
Oh, yeah. In his wine-fueled rage, he grabs his plow weapon, hooks it onto the riverbank, and physically drags the Yamuna towards him.
He pulls the river off course, into the forest.
Forces it to change its course completely. It's an incredible display of superhuman strength, even while intoxicated. Shows the immense power of Shri.
The Yamuna appears in human form then, begging for mercy.
Terrified. Apologizes, asks him to be merciful and let her go. Balarama eventually relents, releases her, but only after she waters all the land. Her course is permanently altered.
A lasting mark of his power.
Exactly. Then Lakshmi, the goddess of beauty, appears.
And adorns him with a water lily, earring, lotus garland, blue clothes.
Yes, signifying his divine grace, his connection to beauty and cosmic order being restored after his display of power. He then returns to Dwaraka and marries Revati, daughter of King Revata.
Bringing things back to harmony.
They have 2 sons, Nishophaita and Ulmuka.
So ends chapter 25 and book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Kind abducts Rukmini.
Now the focus shifts back to Kaun, specifically his romantic life. He falls in love with Rukmini.
The beautiful daughter of King Bhomaka of Vidarbha, and she loves him too.
Yes, it's mutual affection. But there's a problem. Her brother, Rukmin,
He hates Ko.
despises him, and he arranges for Rukmini to marry someone else, Shishupala, another powerful king. He gets support from Jarasandha and other monarchs. They're blocking the love match.
So King decides to intervene. He attends the wedding gathering.
He does, along with Balarama and a bunch of Yadavas. Shows up in Kuchina, signaling he's not just going to let this arranged marriage happen.
And then he makes this incredibly bold move.
Audacious is the word. The day before the wedding, Hari just abducts Rukmini, carries her away by force right from the gathering.
Leaving Balarama and the others to fight off the furious kings.
Exactly. Jarasandha, Shishupala, all her other suitors, they're enraged. But the Yadavas hold them off while Kema makes his escape with Rukmini.
But Rukmin pursues him, swearing revenge.
Full of fury, vows not to return until he's defeated Kema, but Kemba, while he handles him easily, defeats Rukmin's army, strikes Rukmin himself to the ground, vanquishes him completely.
So Kema marries Rukmin after forcefully abducting her.
Yes. It's a demonstration of divine will overriding conventional arrangements, a testament to their fated union. He takes direct action to secure the relationship he desires.
And she later bears him a son, Pradyumna.
Yes, the hero Pradyumna, who is an aspect of Madana, the god of love. The chapter hints at his future story, too, his abduction by the demon Sambra and his eventual triumph. Sets up the next part of the narrative.
So ends chapter 26 in book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Kokya's son Pradyumna is taken by a demon.
Okay, so Maitreya wants to know more about this Pradyumna story. How was he taken by Sambra? How did he eventually defeat the demon?
Right, it's clearly a significant story. Purgia explains that Sambra heard a prophecy. This ancient Pradyumna would one day kill him.
So out of fear, Sambra acts first.
Yes. Snatches the baby when he's only 6 days old and throws him into the terrifying ocean whirlpools, crocodiles, the works. Seems like certain death.
Somehow Pradyumna survives. He's swallowed by a fish.
Miraculously, yes. Swallowed by a huge fish, but survives inside its belly, protected by a kind of divine fire. Then fishermen catch this fish.
and deliver it to Sambara's palace, to his wife.
To his blameless wife, Mayavati, who oversees the cooks. And when the fish is cut open, she finds the baby boy inside. It seems accidental, but it's all part of the divine plan unfolding.
This is where it gets really interesting. Mayavati finds the baby.
Like a fresh green shoot on the once-charred tree of love, the text says poetically, and then Narada appears again.
Reveals the baby's identity. Tells her to raise him.
Exactly. Tells her he's Kutsa's son, so she nurtures him. And as Pradyumna grows into this handsome young man, Mayavati, well, she falls in love with him.
But she's revealed to be Rati, the wife of the love god Manmatha.
Yes, reborn, living under Sambara's roof, enchanted by illusion. But now she falls for Pradyumna, who is Manmatha reborn, and she gives him her illusory powers. It's a complex divine romance reconnecting.
Pradyumna initially rejects her advances, finds it inappropriate.
Yes, until she reveals his true identity, his origin, who she is, and what Sambara did. Then Pradyumna is filled with fury.
Challenges Sambara to battle.
Destroys his army, foils the demon's magic phantoms 7 times, using the powers Mayavati taught him. Turns Sambara's own magic against him, kills him, and then flies back to Dwaraka with Mayavati Rati.
And when they arrive, people mistake Pradyumna for Kitna.
Because they look so alike.
Yes, causes quite a stir. Rukmini, his mother, sees him, feels this deep connection, laments her lost son, admiring Pradyumna's beauty.
Until Narada clarifies everything.
Right. Narada arrives with Kane and reveals the whole truth. This is your son, Pradyumna, and this is his beloved Rati, the god of love reborn. It's this incredible reunion bringing immense joy, revealing this hidden divine play that's been going on.
So ends chapter 27 in book 5 of the glorious Vipurat.
Pradyumna's son, Aniruddha, Balarama slays Rukmini. Okay, this chapter starts by detailing Kinas's incredibly large family.
His other sons with Rukmini, his 7 other main wives, Kalindi, Mitravenda, Satya, Jambavati,
Rohis, Sushila, Satyabhama, Lakama, plus the 16,000 other women he married, after rescuing them from Dwaraka.
And he had sons with all of them. How many?
The text says 180,000 sons in total with the others. It really emphasizes his vast divine procreative power.
Wow. And Pradyumna gets married to Rukmini's daughter.
Yes, despite Rukmini's hatred for Kanta, Pradyumna marries his daughter after winning her at a Svayavara. And they have a son, Aniruddha, destined for bravery.
Then Kantana arranges Aniruddha's marriage to Rukmini's granddaughter.
Even though Rukmini initially objects again, seems Kanta is determined to tie these families together, despite the bad blood.
So the wedding happens in Rukmini's city, Bojaka, and during the party, trouble starts.
Predictably. Some kings, led by the king of Kaliuga, egg Rukmini on. They suggest he challenge Balarama to a game of dice.
Knowing Balarama loves gambling but maybe isn't the best at it, trying to humiliate him.
Exactly. A deliberate provocation. And Rukmini falls for it.
He wins the first couple rounds. Gets arrogant.
Wins twice, takes 1,000 gold pieces each time, mocks Balarama loudly. Then Balarama stakes 10 million pieces. And Balarama wins the throw this time.
But Rukmini tries to deny it. Says he didn't accept the bet.
Arrogantly cries out, "No, it's mine." Claims Balarama didn't state fairly. This pushes Balarama too far.
And then that voice from the heavens confirms Balarama won.
Yes. A deep voice declares Balarama won fairly. Rukmini lied. This just enrages Balarama completely.
He leaps up and kills Rukmini with the game board.
Strikes him dead instantly with the board. Then he grabs the king of Kaliuga, smashes the teeth he'd bared in mockery, and kills other allied kings with a massive golden pillar. Just snaps.
And Kalanja's reaction is silence.
Says nothing. The text says he fears upsetting both Rukmini, his wife, Rukmini's sister, and his brother Balarama. His fascinating shows his deference to complex family dynamics, even amidst this violence. He doesn't intervene.
Then he just leads Aniruddha and the Yadavas back to Dwaraka.
Leaves the scene, letting the consequences stand.
So ends chapter 28 in book 5 of the glorious Vyapura.
Kiri slays the demon Naraka and retrieves Aditi's earrings.
So Indra comes to visit Koril again in Dwaraka, riding Arava.
But this time he's complaining about the demon Naraka.
Yes, Naraka, son of the earth, Bhumi, he's causing chaos everywhere. Indra appeals to Koye as the remover of suffering.
And Naraka's crimes are pretty extensive. Abducting daughters of gods, siddhas, kings.
Imprisoning thousands of them, stole Varuj's magical umbrella, the gem-covered peak of Mount Mandara.
And most importantly, the heavenly earrings of Aditi, Indra's mother. Source of nectar, right?
Exactly, a huge offense. He even wants Indra's elephant, Airavata. Naraka is disrupting cosmic order on a grand scale.
Takes his reaction.
He smiles, takes Indra's hand, gets up, summons Garu with a thought, helps Satyabhama, his consort, aboard, and flies straight to Naraka's city, Prajotyo. Immediate action.
He has to fight his way in, through defenses set by Muru.
Yes, cuts through Muru's razor-sharp magical nooses, then slays Muru himself and his 7,000 sons, plus other demons like Hayagriva and Painajana, effortlessly clears the path.
Then he confronts Naraka himself.
Engages him in battle, slays thousands more of Naraka's Daitya army who try to stop him with showers of weapons, then finally uses his Sudarshana discus.
Cuts Naraka in two. Swift and decisive end to the threat.
Just like that. Then the earth herself appears. Bhumi.
Bringing Aditi's earrings back. And she praises Kani.
Profoundly acknowledges him as her uplifter, referencing his boar incarnation, Varaha, as the ultimate creator, preserver, destroyer. Recognizes his universal agency.
And asks him to pardon Naraka, protect his children, a mother's plea.
Yes, and Kahana grants her requests, shows his mercy. He recovers vast treasures from Naraka's palace, too.
Those 16,100 abducted girls, thousands of elephants, millions of horses.
Sends them all back to Dwaraka. Then he takes Varuta's umbrella, the Mandara Peak, and flies with Satyabhama to heaven.
To return Aditi's earrings personally.
Exactly, demonstrating his role as the ultimate restorer of cosmic order and justice across all realms.
So ends chapter 29 in book 5 of the glorious Vyampu Pudo.
Aditi praises Khan.
So Kanth, Satyabhama, and Garu arrive in heaven. They're greeted reverently by the gods.
Khan bows to Aditi, the mother of the gods.
Humbly bows, returns her splendid earrings, and tells her Naraka is dead, fulfills his promise.
And Aditi is overjoyed. She praises Khan.
With incredible devotion. Acknowledges him as the lotus-eyed protector, eternal, the essence of creation, beyond qualities, dwelling in every heart.
She describes him as transcending everything we can conceive, birth, limits, even sleep.
Yes. And as the agent behind creation, preservation, destruction, embodying Brahma, Vitun, and Siva, she says everything gods, demons, humans, animals, plants, all beings are just individual entities making up his form.
Emphasizing his total omnipresence. All existence is just him.
Exactly. Then she makes this really deep point about Kansa's illusion, Maya.
How it tricks people who don't know his true nature, makes them mistake pain for pleasure, chase worldly things.
Right. And she says even worshipping Kantra for worldly gains like a sun, or victory instead of liberation, is also part of his illusion.
Like asking for a loincloth from a wish-fulfilling true.
Precisely. An error made by those lacking merit, caught in delusion. She asks Kanta to destroy this ignorance, pleads for true spiritual understanding.
And Kanat grants her boon, ensures he'll never be defeated.
Yes, confirms his invincibility in the mortal world. Then Satyabhama speaks up. She wants something.
The celestial Parijata tree, the one from the churning of the ocean, for her garden in Dwaraka.
She desires it. And she kind of challenges, testing his love, dares him to take it from Indra's garden.
Ken just smiles and puts the tree on Garuta.
He does, but the grove keepers object, warn him about Indra's wrath, say the tree belongs to Shuka, Indra's wife.
Satyabhama is defiant, though, scoffs at them.
Completely. Argues the tree is common property, like nectar or the moon, tells the keepers to inform Sukha she's taking it, and challenges Indra to stop Kaner if he can.
Which leads to a massive battle in heaven. Cain versus all the gods led by Indra.
A fierce battle. Cain easily deflects their weapons, defeats Yama, Kubera, scatters the others, even catches Indra's thunderbolt.
Satyabhama mocks Indra's defeat, but Indra's reply is profound.
Isn't it? He says he feels no shame being defeated by Kendra, because Kendra is the god of universal form, the source of everything, beyond beginning or end. He recognizes Kendra's absolute supremacy.
Again, elevating Cain far above even the chief of the gods.
Undeniably.
So ends chapter 30 in book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Kendra plants the Parijata tree in Dwaraka.
So Indra has just praised Kana, acknowledging his supreme nature. King smiles.
And humorously offers to give the thunderbolt back, kind of playing the mortal role again.
Exactly. Playfully says he only took the tree because Satyabhama wanted it, but Indra insists.
Tells Kat he's the universal liberator. Tells him to keep the Parijata tree until he leaves the mortal world.
Right. Indra understands Kasa's true purpose, so Kasa agrees, says, so be it.
and flies back to Dwaraka, blowing his conch, plants the tree in Satyabham's garden.
Fulfills her wish, and the tree's presence is magical, isn't it?
Makes anyone who approaches it remember their past lives. And its fragrance perfumes the whole area.
For 3 leagues around, but even more significant is its effect on the Yadavas.
When they behold the tree, they remember their original heavenly forms.
Yes. It implies they too are divine beings, descended to earth as part of King Yai's Leela. Maybe past lives as deities, it's a revelation of their true spiritual identities, hidden beneath their earthly forms.
That's fascinating, a whole clan of hidden divinities.
Then Kent takes possession of all the spoils from Dwaraka, the elephants, horses.
And the 16,100 abducted girls.
Yes. And then he does something truly astounding.
He marries all 16,100 of them simultaneously.
At an auspicious time, yes. He manifests a separate, identical form for each marriage ceremony.
So each girl believed she alone was marrying him, and he spent the night in all their homes.
Exactly. It's a stunning display of his omnipresence, his divine capacity for simultaneous action, transcending all mortal limits. Shows his limitless ability to embody love and presence for every devotee.
So ends chapter 31 in book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Uanahati dreams of Aniruddha.
Okay, the narrative begins by listing more of Kuntu's vast family, his many sons with his main wives, and the 16,000 others.
Establishing the extent of his lineage, Pradyumna is highlighted as the eldest son, and his son is Aniruddha. Aniruddha's son is Vajra, sets up the line of heroes.
Then it introduces the story of Aniruddha winning Uda.
Right. Ua, the daughter of the demon king Bada, who is the grandson of Bali. And this union, the text says, led to a huge battle.
Between Kunchas and Siva, where Kuncha cut off Beech's 1,000 arms.
Exactly. Hints at a major conflict sparked by this romance.
So Maitreya asks for the full story. How did this battle happen?
Parashas starts by explaining Uda sees Parvati and Shiva making love, and this awakens a deep longing for love in her own heart.
And Parvati reads her mind and makes a promise.
Yes. Tells Uda not to worry, she'll find a husband. Specifically, the man who sweeps her away in a dream on a particular night, the 12th night of the bright fortnight in Vaishakha month.
Setting up this divinely guided dream romance.
Precisely. And just as Parvati foretold, Uda dreams that night of a handsome man.
She falls deeply in love in the dream, experiences bliss.
Intense bliss, but then she wakes up and he's gone. She cries out in anguish, "Where have you gone?" Within earshot of her companion, Citralika.
Citralika. She's the daughter of Bhatt the minister and has magic powers.
Yes, the yogic power of flight. And she offers to help Uda find the man from her dream.
So she paints portraits of gods, demons, heroes.
Paints everyone notable. Shows them to Ut one by one. Ua passes over gods, Daityas, Gandharvas, until they get to the men of the Andaka and Vaik clans, Coin's relatives.
She sees Pradyumna, Aniruddha's father, and looks away shyly.
But the moment she sees the portrait of Aniruddha himself, she cries out, "That's him! That's him!" loses all restraint.
Instantly recognizes the man from her dream. Shows that fated connection.
Absolutely. Destiny and love. So Citraleka, knowing who he is now, uses her power to fly straight to Dwaraka.
To find Aniruddha and bring him back, setting the stage for major drama.
Exactly. Divine intervention, fulfilling a dream, but also triggering a cosmic war.
So ends chapter 32 in book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Aniruddha is bound by Baik and freed by Kut.
So first we learn a bit more about Beta, Utta's father. He has 1,000 arms, thanks to a boon from Siva.
But he finds them a burden, yearns for a battle just to use them.
Yes, says they're an embarrassment in peacetime. Shiva promises him a war. A real fight will come when his peacock banner breaks, sets the condition.
And right at that moment, as Bhatt is thinking about war, Citraleka arrives.
Back from Dwaraka. Uses her magic to bring Aniruddha secretly into Bhatt's palace, to Uba's chambers.
And they make love in secret, unknowingly triggering the war Siva promised.
Precisely. The palace guards eventually discover them. Bhatt sends his army.
Aniruddha fights back with an iron bar.
Shows immense power. Kills many of Bhatt's soldiers. Even Bhatt himself fights Aniruddha and is initially pushed back.
But Bhatt uses magic. Binds Aniruddha with a serpent weapon.
Yes, eventually captures him using his illusory powers.
Then Narada informs Theyadsas back in Vara.
And the response is immediate. Konchi, Hari, Balarama, and Pradyumna mount Garuda and head straight for Bhatt's city, Suta. Swift, decisive action.
Kites battles Siva's attendants first, the Pramathas.
It defeats them, then faces this fearsome fever entity, 3 legs, 3 heads, an emanation of Siva, defending Ba.
And Ketun creates his own fever, a Vita fever.
Which quickly defeats the Siva fever. Brahma has to intervene. Kaksat pardons the Siva fever, which then declares anyone recalling this battle will be free from disease.
Wow, Kelka shows mastery even over illness and divine forces, granting protection.
Absolutely. The main battle escalates. Katu versus Bacha, Siva, and Kartikeya.
He uses a weapon to make Siva yawn uncontrollably, takes him out of the fight.
The Junfan weapon, yes, incapacitates Siva. Geru downs Kartikeya's peacock mount, making him flee. Bama is left vulnerable.
Katina raises his discus, Sudarshana, to finish Bai, but a naked demoness appears.
Kuavi. Conjured by Bacha's magic, Kainia hasn't phased. He just proceeds to chop off Badi's 1,000 arms one by one with the discus, fulfills the prophecy, relieves Ba of his burden.
Bad's defeated, bleeding. Siva intervenes again.
Yes, begs Kat to spare Ba's life. Reminds Kate he'd vouched for Bacha's safety. Katja shows respect for Siva's word.
Recalls the discus, and makes that statement about their unity.
Declares, I'm all the world, and so are you. Only those confused by ignorance see a difference between us. Highlights their ultimate oneness, beyond the apparent conflict.
Then Kansina frees Aniruddha. Garuda's breath drives away the serpent bonds.
Yes, puts Aniruddha and Ura on Garuda's back, and returns with Balarama and Padumna to Dwaraka. Successful rescue, reunion achieved.
So ends chapter 33 in book 5 of the glorious Vinpura.
Go burn Varasi.
Maitreya is still curious, wants to hear more about Kincha's incredible feats, especially defeating gods like Indra and Siva, recognizing how significant this is for a being in mortal form.
Understandable. So, Parasha tells the story of Patraka Vasudeva.
The man who thought he was the real Vasudeva, the real incarnation, misled by people.
Exactly. Got so caught up in it, he started wearing Makavaikava symbols, discus, mace, Shrivatsa mark. Forgot his own nature completely. Became an imposter.
And he sends a message to Kan, demanding Kancha give up his emblems, renounce the name Vasudeva, pay homage to him.
The sheer arrogance. Tells Kens to come bow down if you value life.
Kinsa just laughs.
Laughs with amusement and contempt. Tells the messenger, oh yes, tell him I'll send my discus emblem to him. I'll come to his city tomorrow and present it.
A very subtle, very potent threat, hidden in politeness.
Totally ironic. Foreshadows exactly what's going to happen.
So Kent mounts Garuda and flies to Pautraka's city.
Yes. And the king of Kosh, that's Varatasi, who's Pautraka's ally, comes out with his army to support him. He'd sees Pautraka in the distance.
Decked out in his fake divine gear, fake discus, fake Garucha banner.
The whole ridiculous setup. Kid just laughs aloud.
Then he just routs Pautraka's army, effortlessly.
With arrows from Shuga, blows from his mace and discus, sends the king of Koshi's army to its doom too. Then he speaks directly to Pautraka.
Ironically promises to send the discus and mace. And does it.
Cuts Pautraka to pieces with the real Sudarshana discus, strikes him with the real Kamodake mace. Garuda destroys the fake emblem on his banner. Kion also cuts off the king of Keshi's head with arrows.
And flings the head into Varatasi?
Spreading panic and confusion among the people there. Shows the consequence of allying with imposters.
The king of Kashi's son wants revenge. He worships Siva.
Propitiates Siva, seeking vengeance. Siva grants his boon, and this monstrous fire-belching female phantom rises from the sacrificial fire.
Crying Ka's name, heading for Dwaraka to destroy him.
The people of Dwaraka are terrified, flee to Kana. Kian understands immediately it's from Siva, summoned by the prince. He's in the middle of a dice game.
And just casually releases his Sudarshana discus. Tells it to destroy the phantom.
Just like that. The discus speeds off, pursues the phantom back to Varatasi, drains its power, burns the entire Kasha army.
And then incinerates the whole city, Varasi itself.
Everything. King, minions, subjects, animals, stores, granaries. Leaves nothing but ashes. Engulfs every building, square, rampart. Total destruction.
And the discus just returns to Kincha's hand, undiminished.
Still eager for more. Signifies Kincha's ultimate power. His role in destroying those who misuse spiritual power or oppose the divine order so flagrantly.
So ends chapter 34 in book 5 of the glorious Vinpura.
Balarama threatens Hastinapura.
Maitreya asks again about Balarama's prowess. He's heard about the Yamuna incident and wants more examples, recognizing Balarama's own divine might.
So Parashara tells the story of Samba, Kensha's son by Jambavati. He abducts Duryodhana's daughter.
Yes, Lakshman snatches her right from her Svayavara ceremony. Audacious move.
The Kauravas are furious. Karna, Duryodhana, Bhumba, Droga. These are heavy hitters.
They defeat Samba in battle and imprison him. This obviously enrages the Yadavas back in Dwaraka.
They want war, but Balarama steps in.
Yes, prevents a full clan war. He's drunk again, slurring his words, but declares, "I'll go alone. I'll make the Kauravas set him free." Total confidence in his own power.
He arrives at Hastinapura, the Kaurava capital, waits outside.
In a grove. Duryodhana and the others come out, offer him gifts, cattle, water. Balarama accepts them politely.
But then issues an order from Ugrasena.
Ugrasena orders you, set Samba free at once. Asserting Yudava authority over the mighty Kauravas, it's a direct challenge, deeply insulting to their pride.
And the Kauravas react badly. When Droka, Kart.
They're infuriated.
Completely enraged, arrogantly mock Balarama. How dare any Yadava whom they consider unworthy of kingship give orders to the Kurus? They call the Yadavas inferiors.
Say they might as well give up their royal umbrellas if Ugrasena commands them, and refuse to release Samba.
This pushes Balarama over the edge. He's mad with fury. His eyes are red from the wine and the anger.
He spins around, kicks the earth, splitting it open. The sound echoes everywhere. He curses their pride, threatens to kill all the top Kaurava warriors, and then threatens to do something incredible.
Throw their whole city, Hastinapura, into the Gaga River.
Literally. Says Ugrasena, whose servants' wives wear parijata flowers, is the real lord of the earth. He puts his plow weapon on the city wall.
And pulls. The city starts to topple.
Visibly lists to one side. The Kauravas panic instantly. Their hearts tremble. They beg Balarama for forgiveness.
Forgive us, mighty warrior. We didn't know how strong you were. Here's Samba and his wife.
They immediately release them. Balarama calms down, forgives them, but the text adds this amazing detail.
Even to this very day, Hastinapura seems to list.
A permanent physical reminder of Balarama's terrifying strength when angered. A testament to his power reshaping the very land.
So ends chapter 35 in book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Balarama defeats the giant monkey Dvidava.
Parashara now introduces another adversary, Vivida, a powerful monkey demon.
An ally of Naraka, the demonkin killed earlier, so Dvida wants revenge.
Exactly. After Naraka's death, Dvida sows enmity against the gods, vows to disrupt all sacrifices, destroy the human world, cause chaos out of vengeance.
And he causes widespread havoc. Burning lands, crushing villages with mountains.
Churning the ocean to flood places, trampling crops. He can change shape at will. He embodies this destructive force, undermining all order, making the world miserable, stopping sacred rites.
So one day, Balarama is relaxing in a garden with Revati and other women, drinking wine.
Yes, enjoying himself near Mount Raivata, like Kubera, the god of wealth. Peaceful scene. Then Vivida appears.
And snatches Balarama's weapons. His plow and club, mocks him.
Rudely kicks over the wine vessels, smashes them, directly insults Balarama, disrupts his leisure.
Balarama curses him, but the monkey just chatters back.
Defiantly ignores the curse. Balarama grabs his club in fury. Dvida hurls this enormous boulder at him.
Balarama just smashes the rock.
Smashes it into 1,000 pieces with his club, effortlessly counters the monkey's strength.
Dvida flies up, dodges the club, beats his chest.
Still defiant. But Balarama strikes him hard on the head. The monkey drops instantly, spewing blood, life force gone.
His massive body falls on a mountain, smashes its peak.
Like it was hit by Indra's thunderbolt. Shows the immense force of Balarama's blow.
And the deities descend again, showering flowers, praising Balarama.
Yes, acknowledging he's removed another major troublemaker. Confirming the world was suffering because of this wicked monkey helping the Daityas. It highlights Balarama's ongoing role in maintaining cosmic order, subduing these disruptive forces.
So ends chapter 36 in book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
The destruction of the Yadavas.
So Kamsa and Balarama have done their work, destroyed the Daityas, the wicked kings, eased the earth's burden with Arjuna's help in the Great War.
They've accomplished their main mission.
Yes. But now they turn to one final, fateful task. The annihilation of their own clan, the Yadavas.
Their own family. Why?
Because of a Brahmin's curse. It's destined. After this, Kamsa will abandon Dwaraka, leave his mortal body, and merge back into his true nature as Vishnu.
Maitreya asks why this destruction had to happen. How did the curse come about?
Parashara explains. Some young Yadu boys, driven by fate, decide to play a prank on some sages, Vishvamitra, Kaeva, Narada, at the sacred site of Dwaraka.
They dress up Samba, as son, as a pregnant woman.
Yes, and present him to the sages, asking, will she bear a boy or a girl? Trying to trick them.
The sages see through it and get angry.
They have divine perception, they feel insulted, and they curse the boys. She will bear an iron pestle, which will end the clan of Yadavas.
And Samba actually produces an iron pestle.
He does. Ugrasena hears about it, is horrified, and orders the pestle ground to dust and thrown into the ocean.
But the dust grows into reeds, and one sharp splinter remains.
Yes, a blade-like piece they couldn't crush. They throw that in the sea, too. It gets swallowed by a fish, which is later caught by a hunter named Jaras, who finds the metal splinter in its belly and keeps it. The curse is unfolding piece by piece.
And Kat knew all this would happen, but didn't stop it.
Exactly. He foresaw it all, could have prevented it, but chose not to change fate's course. Shows the inevitability of destiny, of karma, even for the divine. It's part of the plan.
Then the gods send a messenger to Kinna.
Yes, reminding him it's been over 100 years since he descended. The Daityas are gone, the earth's burden is mostly eased. They request him to return to heaven now.
Kinna acknowledges their message, says he knows, but adds something crucial.
He says the earth's burden won't be truly eased until the Yadavas themselves are destroyed. Because even one Yadava boy is a significant load due to their immense power and pride.
Wow. So their destruction is necessary for complete balance.
That's how Kinna explains it. He promises to annihilate them within 7 nights, then return to heaven. He also advises his devotee Uddhava to leave Dwaraka and seek spiritual perfection elsewhere, because the city will soon be swallowed by the ocean.
And the end comes.
Yeah.
The Yadavas go to Prabhasa.
A sacred site. They drink heavily. Arguments start. Friction rises among them. It escalates into a furious brawl.
They kill each other. Using weapons, then the reeds.
Yes, victims of their destiny. When their weapons break, they grab the reeds growing nearby, the ones that grew from the pestle dust. And in their hands, the reeds become like iron thunderbolts due to the curse. They strike each other down.
Cato watches this self-destruction and even participates.
Sees they won't stop. He takes a reed himself, which becomes an iron club, and aids in the annihilation, ensuring none survive except himself and his charioteer, Dwaraka. It's a tragic, self-inflicted end, fulfilling the curse.
His divine weapons then leave him, return to the heavens.
Circle him respectfully, then depart via the sun's path, signaling his active role is ending. Then he and Dwaraka witness Balarama leaving his mortal body.
A giant serpent emerges from his mouth, Sita returning to the ocean.
Yes! Worshipped by Siddhas and Nagas, welcomed by the ocean itself, Balarama's earthly journey is over.
Keita instructs Dwaraka to inform the family, prepare for Arjuna's arrival, warn about Dwaraka sinking.
Tells him Vajra will be the new Yadu king. Then Kai himself prepares to depart, merges into the absolute, abandons his mortal form through yoga.
But then the hunter Jaras appears, shoots him in the foot.
Yes. Mistakes Kai's foot, resting while in yoga, for a deer. Hits him in the soul, the one vulnerable spot due to an old curse from Durvasis. Jaras had tipped his arrow with that very iron splinter from the pestle.
The final piece of the curse falls into place.
Exactly. Kai forgives Jaras, blesses him to the heavens, and then fully merges with the highest, eternal, inconceivable, purest form of Vasudeva. Transcends the mortal realm completely. His earthly sojourn ends.
So ends chapter 37 in book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.
Arjuna leads the women from Dwaraka.
So Arjuna arrives, finds the remains of Kai and Balarama. He performs the proper funeral rites for them and for all the other fallen Yadavas, fulfills his duty as kin and friend.
And Kasha's main wives, Rukmi and the others, they enter his funeral pyre.
Yes, his 8 principal consorts embrace his body and ascend the pyre. The text says they find coolness in the flames, symbolizing their joyous union with him. Revati does the same for Balarama.
Ugrasena, Vasudeva, Devaki, Rohin, they also choose to depart.
And to the flames too. Cannot bear to live without Kano, a testament to their deep love and devotion.
Arjuna then leads the survivors out of Dwaraka. Vajra, the women.
Yes, and the moment Kano leaves the mortal plane, those divine items, the assembly hall at Dharma, the Parijata tree, they ascend back to heaven. Their purpose on earth is done.
And the text notes, on that very day Hari left Earth, the Kali age descended.
The Dark Age begins, a major cosmic shift, and the ocean immediately floods Dwaraka. reclaims land.
Only Kanya's own palace is spared. Still stands, untouched by the ocean.
Yes, sacred site, freeing one from sin, because Lord Keta always dwells there.
So Arjuna is leading Kanya's many widowed consorts and the other survivors away, through the land of 5 rivers.
But they look defenseless. And this attracts bandits. The Avara tribesmen, their greed is stirred. They conspire to plunder the group.
And Arjuna, the great hero of the Mahabharata, finds himself powerless.
This is the really stunning part. He who defeated Bhuma, Dura, Kartna, he tries to string his legendary bow, Gachiva, and he can't.
His memory fails him. His arrows don't work. His magic weapons won't come.
Nothing works. He struggles. The string comes undone. He realizes his strength, his courage, his glory. It was all because of Tona's presence.
He laments being forsaken by the Lord.
Confesses that without Kun, his mighty bow is no match for tribal staves. He, the invincible Arjuna, is defeated by common herdsmen with clubs who seize thousands of the women. It's a moment of profound humility, utter devastation for him. He feels ashamed, abused by inferior men.
He finds the sage Vyasa and tells him what happened. Vyasa explains.
Tells him it's all the work of time, Kala. It's Kena's divine play concluding. Keda's task is done, the burden eased, the era over. Time creates, time destroys. Kena's greatness, Arjuna's prowess, both subject to time.
And Vyasa reveals the deeper karmic reason, the curse on the Apsarasas.
Yes, the curse by the Brahmin Ivakra. Those women were celestial Apsarasas who mocked him. They were cursed to have Cain as a husband, but later be seized by bandits. It shows even these seemingly random events are part of a larger cosmic pattern, rooted in past karma or divine will.
So Vyasa tells Arjuna not to grieve. Reminds him death is certain, union ends in separation.
Yes. Advises him and his brothers to leave their tangled lives, retire to the forest, practice austerities, signifies the end of the heroic age, the shift towards spiritual pursuits. Time to let go of worldly glory.
So ends chapter 38 and book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana. Wow, we've journeyed through, well, the incredibly vivid tapestry of book 5 of the Vishnu Purana, a real deep dive into Kama's life and divine exploits.
From his miraculous birth, his childhood mischief, all the way to those cosmic battles, and finally, that poignant end to his time on Earth.
You really witness this intricate dance, don't you, between divine power and very real human experience.
Absolutely. What really stands out to you from this incredible collection of stories? Is it Kancha's almost effortless mastery over those terrifying demons? Or maybe Balarama's sheer raw strength?
For me, it might be the philosophical insights woven in everywhere, in the praises, the laments. But yes, Kancha's the ultimate orchestrator is powerful too, fulfilling prophecies, restoring balance.
And showing the transient nature of power, even Arjuna's power at the end.
Exactly. His story isn't just about miracles, is it? It's about the purpose behind the divine showing up like this, and the lessons hidden even in seemingly playful acts.
This deep dive really reminds us, I think, that what looks like human folly or just mundane events could actually be part of a much grander, often inscrutable divine plan. Always working towards, the highest good, easing the world's burden.
So what does this all mean for us listening today? Perhaps it's a reminder that even in our own lives, small acts, chance encounters, they might be connected to a larger unseen purpose. How might understanding this idea of divine play influence how you perceive your own challenges, your triumphs? What unexpected deep dives might reveal hidden patterns in your own story? Thus concludes the major symbolic and narrative revelations of Book 5 of the glorious Vishnu Purana.